Hello again. So here is another video that I think you need to see, that needs to be explained to you again, how these males think and why. It is because of the fact that they're not human, that they think this way, and that what has been going on in this so-called human society is actually entirely based not on human biology, but on their parasite biology. Okay? Let's get it up. Okay, so this is a video about women just leaving men and leaving men much quicker, okay? And I want you to hear something. Let's see.
Everything but podcast equipment. Because why are these
be too ugly? Because that's a red flag. God forbid you're broke or you're in between jobs. If you don't text back,
you have to understand something. They're not your species, so you don't have any reason to be with them anyway. So yeah, you should be living for every single one of those things. None of it, not a single thing is too much. It's too much and too little for you to leave them over. But this is not what I wanted you to hear. I think it starts from
thinking everything is normal. Your time is ticking.
Anyways, let me not talk too much in the beginning. Let's get right.
I being and talking. I mean, when they set a deadline for you, if you don't come correct, if you don't act right by this time next week, it's all over, Jackie. It's all over. Also, you're just thinking everything is normal. Your time is ticking.
She's the kind of girl that wants a relationship, but also happens to lose interest in men super fast. Telling you, she like your ass on Monday, and Tuesday your number gonna be blocked, and that's just gonna be that. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, them girls, they want a relationship, but sometimes they don't be open to it. Like, ladies, you do know, in order for you to actually get to the relationship part, right, of talking to somebody, you gotta talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's gonna go wrong. Somebody gonna say the wrong thing. They might have some disagreements, but you gotta keep trying though.
He's right. You do have to talk to them, but also what's also present is also the fact that you are clocking the non-humanness in them, which means your biology. You understand that your biology is not designed for you to be with another species. You know that. You know that this is literally the only thing. This is one of the things that they did not take from us. Yeah? Because the reason they had to look human was because of this very thing is so strong. You don't want to be with somebody who isn't human. And once you're unbrainwashed, the humanness or the lack thereof becomes so much more apparent. And so you have no reason to stick around. Yeah? That's what he's referring to. Because when you start to hear them actually speak, there is no human behind the words. Even though they're turning out human language, they're turning out English, they're turning out Chinese, Korean, all that stuff. Yeah? When you actually start to listen to them, when you are not brainwashed with, ooh, male brain, with, ooh, I want a man, that you must have a man, you leave them at the very first sign of their nonsense, because their nonsense is an indication that they don't know how to behave, but they don't know how to behave because they're not human. And they're not human because they are parasites. Because this is one of the things where it's the surface. It is their humanness is only on the surface, and it is only even on the biological level with embryogenesis, because that is what it took that is what it took to enact the parasitism of us. So that means that if it took much less, if they could have convinced us that we were supposed to do all of these things, would that actually, having to change our reproductive system, that's what would have happened. And we would have been having the same exact conversation, however long it took us to get to this point. And but the changes would not have been there. The changes would not have been there, but they would have still brainwashed us anyway, if they didn't need to. And this is what is killing them, right? But this is still not it. This is
that's how
still
you
not
get
it.
too relation. Ladies, I'm gonna be honest, y'all getting too strict for my liking. All right, y'all need to tone down.
Boom. That's part of it. That's part of it. He says that we are getting too strict for his liking, which means that what he wants it to be easy. Why does he want to be easy? Why does he want it to be easy? Because as a parasite, he needs to be able to climb onto a host instantly. But us humans, we already had a skin barrier, which he now also unfortunately has that same skin barrier that prevents what? Cell-to-cell contact. That prevents cell-to-cell contact. That skin barrier that was designed specifically for organisms like his original kind to prevent them from invading your, the vital insides, right? That's exactly what it is. So that skin barrier is already a problem for them. It is already removed them from it's already created a large barrier that they have to scale, a much larger barrier than they should ever have had to scale in order to get an attachment to a female, to a host. So now, when you are actually enacting your real biology, it becomes next to impossible to get you. Do you understand that? It becomes next to impossible to get.
These goddamn rules and regulations, please. All right, you were just talking to that man. Y'all was on the phone laughing. That was connecting. Everything was good. Like, what happened? What went wrong? He said the wrong thing. Your ass got turned off immediately. Like, you don't even want to talk to him, hear about him. You don't even want to see him no more. Like, damn. Like, shit. Did you even tell him? Did you even tell him what he did? No, you did not. You just blocked him. Right?
You don't know him in an explanation because he shouldn't even be in your freaking species to begin with for you to ever have bothered with him. For you to hold him an explanation. They do not deserve any benefits because they are not human. They do not deserve any human rights because they are not one. That is like giving human rights to a roach. That's like giving human rights to a worm. That's like giving human rights to a cheetah in the wild. They do not have any rights in human societies.
Right now, he woke up, went to your goddamn page and say,
I think
it's gotten to a point where women are just tired.
And they won't hear from you again. Like, imagine.
Wrong. And when you're done, he acts like he doesn't know a thing.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I hate the strict babes. I hate them. These men are too strict. You can just mess up one time, and they won't hear from you again. Like, imagine how, everyone's got that like one shorty that's been declining you. She's not really trying to see you. She's just being kind of prestige and kind of bougie. And then one time she sets a day and time she's available, and then all of a sudden you're just out of town, unavailable. You got so much to do that day you can't even see them. So you're not getting another opportunity, bro. You're not getting the opportunity again. Like, what the hell, bro? Or let's say now you're talking to her on a casual thing, just cool, and you step out of line a little bit. You make a joke that's a little bit too far. It's a little bit cheeky. You know you shouldn't be making it, but you're just testing the waters.
If you know you're not supposed to be saying it, why would you go ahead to say it anyways? Why are you testing the waters?
These men did not take it lightly. These men will block your ass. You won't get another opportunity. And bear in mind, these men will probably say the same thing, the same joke along the same lines, but they'll get away with it. But when it's you, it's done, it's raps. And all of a sudden, you fumble just by opening your mouth. Can you imagine? You'd be just thinking about that moment. And you make a joke that's a little bit too far, cool, and you're not getting the opportunity to do that day. You can't even see them, so you're not getting another opportunity, bro. We're not getting the opportunity again. Like, what the hell, bro? There you go.
Did you know what just happened? Okay, let me explain it to you. They are not human. Okay, here's how biology works. Okay, if you're going to, the reason you don't have the desire to flap your wings, to flap your arms as though you have wings, is because you don't have wings. Therefore, there is no ley lines in your biology that gives you the instinct to want to do that. But you see birds, even when they're not flying, they're flapping their wings all the time. Yeah, they have that instinct to flap their wings, which means that that is part of the ley lines, the control system. The control system, the behavioral control system, the blood, the whatever, the brain instincts, the immune system that controls that behavior of flying, that go in to feed and support that behavior of flying. That is why they have the instinct to flap their wings, right? So what does that mean here? That means that for them, being that they are not a human organism, right? Which means that whatever organism that they actually are, it doesn't have all this human knowledge about how to behave in order to get a woman. They are just throwing sticks to the wall to see what sticks. They are basically guessing it. They don't know a single thing about getting a woman. That is what they call game. That is why they call it game, because they have to go and literally go to university level type of learning in order to get it, in order to be able to get a female. They are not human, so they don't know what humans want. They don't know what constitutes a relationship for humans. They don't know what you, the female human, they don't know what the heck you're looking for. They are totally lost. That is why they want opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity so that they can get it right, because it is all a guessing game to them. They are not your species. They are not your species. So they don't have the things, they don't have the knowledge of the things that you just automatically know. They don't have the knowledge of what you just automatically know. That is why it drives them crazy that one time you're done and they can never try again. That means that they could never win, because they don't know what the heck you want. They don't know what the hell a human is. They don't know what the heck a human wants. They don't know anything about a human. They are guessing it. That is why the gurus, the manosphere, is selling to them. Is selling out. They're making back on them because they're so desperate to figure out how to catch.
Let's say now you're
They're so desperate to figure out how to get one, and they have zero clue. This is what they call the sex selection. This is why sex selection even exists. Because let me be frank here. Everything that you as a human needs, that is part of your biology, okay? You are supposed to already have those things, right? That means that you don't have the choice to choose, because your biology has set what is right for you. When you have a child, you can't choose what child you have. You're just gonna be stuck with the one that you get. Yeah. When you have eyes and your eyes are cross-eyed, you're still gonna be stuck with the one that you get, even if it's bad. When you have only half an arm, you're still gonna be stuck with the one that you get, whether it's good or bad. There is no such thing as selection when it is actually part of your biology, but they are not part of your biology, which means that you have the luxury of choosing, and that is exactly the same thing with them. They have the luxury of choosing because we are not part of their biology, so they can sit back and say, oh, I want this one and I want that one, but it's not working out for them because you weren't even supposed to want them anyway. You were not supposed to want them. If you were actually supposed to want them, it wouldn't work out this way. But the only reason they're even in your faces is because they are your predator. It's like the way we treat cows. It's like the way we treat cows. We don't like cows. We don't like cows enough to hang out with them, right? To go moo-mooing in their faces. But when it comes to the market, to the supermarket, and choosing the beef, we are all up in there, aren't we? But we have the luxury of choosing because we don't really need it. Because we do not actually really need it. So we have the luxury of choosing. It is not part of our survival. Therefore, we have the luxury of choosing. That is sex selection. And the reason they want you to continue to forgive them, to continue to give them chance after chance, is because it's a guessing game to them. They don't know a thing about what you want. They don't know a thing about what you want. And because they're not even your kin, you have very little forgiveness to even give them to begin with, because they're not part of you. If your kids get you mad, you're gonna forgive them because they are in fact a part of you. And your kids don't always know what you want. But you have but inside you is the desire to forgive your kids, but not them. You do not have to design for them, which means that what has been going on in society where you are forgiving a man 200,000 times, that is their biology. They require that because so that they can get it right, so that they can have many, many chances of getting it right. Because otherwise, they could never get a woman. Because there is literally a million things that cause you to not want them. Because they are just guessing. Because they, on their level of organism, they are far simpler than we are. We are far more complex than they are. And because of our complexity, it is built into us naturally all the pitfalls that will make us recognize something not our species. By the way, this thing, the ability to recognize what is your species and what is not, this is a universal thing. Every organism has this. Every organism has this design. But the more complex the organism, the more designs they have in them of how to recognize their own species. That is why they need you to continue to forgive them. That is the biology that we've been running for, God, as long as I can remember. The endless cycle of forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving and forgiving. And they keep telling you that, you know what, you have to forgive your man. Even if your man cheats, you have to forgive him because, well, he can do this for you and he can do that for you. And, everything that you built him, another woman is going to get. Lie. What they're telling you is that they don't know how to not make you pissed. They don't know how to please you because they don't know what you want, because they are just guessing it, because they know nothing about being human. They know nothing about being human. All those podcasting times, this is what they were telling you. This is what they were saying. They need an endless amount of opportunities so that they can get it right, because they're just guessing it. Even after all the gurus say this and say that, and they pay $10,000. They pay $10,000. They still don't know what the heck. They still don't know what the heck women want. And every iteration of male is a new one who has to learn it all over. It's a new one that has to learn it all over. Biology does not design like this. I just find that very, very interesting that I happened upon this video that was talking about this male, oh my goodness, I need an opportunity. I need an opportunity. Yeah.
Opportunity.
To get it right. Like if you're taking an exam, right, and you didn't actually study for the exam, but you don't even know how to study, right? You're gonna be like, oh my God, if I take it the first time, I'm going to fail. So how do I trick the professor into letting me take it for like maybe 10 times so that I can guess it, so I can get closer and closer each time? That's exactly what that is. They're just guessing. They're guessing what women want. They're guessing human biology, because even though they look human, It's just an empty vessel in there. There is no internal human wirings. That makes sense. When they tell you that they're visual, when they tell you that they're visual creatures, they're telling you they don't know how to tell your human insides, the quality of your character. They're telling you they don't know how to tell. That is why they can only use their eyes. That is why they can only use their eyes. They don't know how to tell what's good quality. That's why they can only use their eyes and their stomach. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to point that out. And if you don't know what this man was saying, he really sounded like he's actually really concerned. But for someone like me, who I know their freaking alien language, he just seems so pathetic. Oh my God.
Out of the blue, you're too straight, he doesn't even know what he did to you. Whole time you've always told this man exactly what he's doing wrong, and when you're done, he acts like he doesn't know a thing.
I'm not gonna lie, man, them. I hate the strict babes. I hate them. These men are too strict. You can just mess up one time, and they won't hear from you again. Like, imagine now, yeah.
Now you have to understand that when I was actually dating men, they messed up very frequently and I realized why that was happening. And now I realize why they don't know a thing about what a woman wants. Because again, if you're not spoon feeding them this information, they fail at it 100% of the time.
Everyone's got that like one shorty that.
And so when he says you fail out once, it doesn't mean that you maybe 2-3 years into the relationship, right? No. He means like as soon as you start talking, he's already messed up. As soon as you start talking, he's already messed up, and there's no chance. And then he has to go and start all over with another woman. And you have to understand that even like because of exactly that they are not human, and therefore inside of you is not a design to want them, except that which they have implanted into your mind, right? It's 10 times harder to chase a woman now that the brainwash is lifting. Now that the brainwash was before, when the brainwash was there, they only needed to point to a woman, and boom, they're married. Remember the time when they were selling women? They only needed to point to a woman, and they're married already. Within by 2 days, 3 days, they're married. That's how easy they want it. And for that to happen, you must not be a person. For that to be possible, you must not be a person, but you are a person. And it's making them crazy that you are. Because not only do our skin barrier protect us from them just, climbing onto us, right? Your walking does that too. Your mind does that too. Your lips does that too. Your brain does that too. Your houses do that too. Keep you from them. The online, the other thing now that is causing them, that is putting another barrier in front of them to prevent them from getting you so easily is now the online dating. You guys have no idea how crazy it makes them that you are safely behind the screen, that they can't just hunt you down and kidnap you. You have no idea how crazy it makes them. That's what when they come online. They come online and talk about how they hate getting out. That's what they are saying. You are safely behind a wall, safely behind a screen, and they have to what? They actually have to pass real human test. They no longer have to force you They no longer have to fail the test and still get you anyway. That is making them so crazy.
She's been declining you. She's not really trying to see you. She's just being kind of prestige and kind of bougie. And then one time she sets her day and time she's available, and then all of a sudden you're just out of town, unavailable. You got so much shit to do that day, you can't even see them. So you're not getting another opportunity, bro. You're not getting the opportunity again. Like, what the hell? What the hell, bro?
He's lying. He didn't get that far. He didn't get that far.
Well, let's say now you're talking to her on a casual thing, yeah? Just cool. And you step out of line a little bit. You make a joke that's a little bit too far. It's a little bit cheeky. You know you shouldn't be making it, but you're just testing the waters.
If you know you're not supposed to be saying it, why would you go ahead to say it anyways? Why are you testing the waters?
Because he is trying to see how far he can control you, because as an organism that needs to attach itself to you so that you are on the verge of being catatonically dead, yeah? He needs to know how far you are willing to play ball, how much you are willing to let him, you're willing to submit. He's testing how much your brainwash is held. He's testing how much you still have the brainwash so that you can let him willingly parasite you. That's what they're testing. They always have to test that, you see, because what they prefer to do is that you don't have a life whatsoever, so that they can turn you into their sex hole, into an inanimate pinhole, only conscious enough to go and cook, clean for him. That is what they want.
These men did not take it lightly. These men will block your ass. You won't get another opportunity. And bear in mind, these men will probably say the same thing, the same joke along the same lines, but they'll get away with it. But when it's you, it's done, it's raps. And all of a sudden, you fumble just by opening your mouth. Can you imagine? You'd be just thinking about that moment.
The only times they're getting away with it are the women who are brainwashed, who are still brainwashed, which that's nothing to be ashamed of, because we've all been there. We've all been brainwashed. But some of us are woken up, and it's going to take time for everybody to wake up from it. But that's what he's talking about. The only reason you would get away with it is because those women are brainwashed. Because there is nothing in female biology to account for having a male partner. Therefore, it's only possible with the brainwash. Not even their whatever they did to us on a biological level. That is not even enough. Not even enough for all of this stuff to be happening. Right? There has to be a significant amount of brainwash, and that is what they desperately want to bring back. That is what they desperately want to bring back. And I tell you that is a very possible thing. That is a very easy thing to achieve, as long as they understand how they did it in the first place. They don't understand how they did it in the first place because of how so long ago it was done. How so long ago that it was done. But they're perfectly able to do it again. They're perfectly able to repeat it again, and much more quickly than you would think.
Imagine I didn't say this. Imagine. Some of them, they're too strict, fam. Bare rules and regulations. Bare regulations, man. Annoying.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss the memo.
Why is it an
Now, let me get my shit to what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get you flowers. Like, I'm going to be better. Ladies, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, too, bro. You know, every time you say you done with a man, bro, he come on his best behavior. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been on a date since you met him. You feel me? Now you talking about, I'm going to take you on a date. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get you flowers. Like, I'm going to be better. You know what I'm saying? All this shit that he never was doing in the beginning. Y'all know how it is when you ain't used to having shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially something that's good, bro. Cool. You know what I'm saying? You mistreated. You know what I mean? You want to appreciate it until it's gone. Soon as she say, yeah, I don't want you no more, or why you texting me? Baby, stop. I'm sorry. I love you. You know what I mean? Whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. All right? I promise you. And some of y'all women be so fucking strict, bro. Like, god damn. Like, you made one wrong move, she ready to block you same day, bro. Like, damn, I just got here. This is the first day. You know what I mean? So you my third day out here.
What
I'm
did I
trying to see
say?
something.
What did I say?
You really
What?
gotta be on your best behavior at all times,
What
bro.
did
Because
I
these women,
say?
whoo-wee.
What did I say? What did I say? I said they don't last that long because they don't know human, because they're not one. They don't last that long.
They gonna leave you the fuck alone.
I can't stress this enough to y'all, but
Do you see why? Do you see why society was designed the way it was? It was designed specifically for their biology. It was designed so that they can have as many chances at you, in order to keep you, so that they can keep screwing up because they don't know what the heck they're doing and still get to keep you, so that they can keep throwing balls at the wall and see what sticks, so that they can win anyway. Everything in society is designed to their biology and not ours. That is why it is killing us. That is why it is killing us, because you, as a human, you cannot live the biology of your predator.
like the Delulu girls y'all see me talking about on TikTok all the time is a specific subgroup of women. If y'all actually believe for 1 second that every woman is out here accepting the things that you're accepting and you know, playing mind games and going back and forth with men that have no real intention for them, if you think every woman is actually entertaining that, you're sadly mistaken. If y'all think for 1 second that there aren't women out here with real pride and decorum and standards that actually choose peace instead of these games, again, you're sadly mistaken. There are women out here that I know personally that will literally cut you off for little to nothing. And not because they want to be, you know, hard or strict. It's not even really about that. It's about like, who has time to be going around in circles and doing the same thing over and over again with every person they meet? Like, let's be for real here. Furthermore, these women that I'm talking about have real goals and ambitions that don't include guys. Simple. Not everything in this world has to do with a man and the next man that you talk to and who's gonna be the, like, let's be for real. See, when you have pride, like actual pride, there's not a lot of things you let people slide with. Off the simple fact that, you know, like, who do you think you are? Who do you think I am to allow that to happen?
Is it really pride? Is it really pride? Because a lot of the times that I dealt with them, right? I cut them off because they just don't seem like they didn't even. I didn't clock it back then, right? Because I was far too young to even know that this thing that we're dealing with even exists, right? But all I got was that it just wasn't right. It wasn't that I was being prideful. It was just like not human. There was an instance where, I connected with a guy and it was just really good, and then the next instant, dude was shooting me like I didn't even exist. While I'm screaming at him to stop somewhere so that we can do something, so that we could get something, because I needed to get something, right? I'm screaming at him to stop, to let us stop somewhere, and he's just dragging me along like I didn't even exist. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know that, that this behavior of theirs was even a real thing at the time. But it was just it just felt so inhumane on a very, very very vague level, barely perceptible level, right? I just felt totally unseen. Yeah, we were done. We were done. And the thing is with me is I won't tell you shit. I will not tell you shit. You just gonna guess. I don't owe you any explanation. I do not owe you anything. Yeah, behaviors like that. Because when you actually start to listen to them, they don't sound human. They do not sound human. Okay? They don't sound human. The things that they even said, when I asked them one time, there was a time when we were talking on news break, etc. There was a conversation about sperm and how, who actually creates life, etc. And there was some clown who comes up there to talk about how men are the ones creating creating life. And the things that he said was just so deeply unbiological that it's like, that can't even be possible. It basically laid out a parasite type of reproduction that women are basically just the housing unit. And I need you to understand, because I reviewed a note. I reviewed a note recently, maybe today, yesterday, that I made a video about, that said that someone made a comment to me, show me an example of, how what they have experienced, things that I'm talking about in their lives, right? And they said that this male that they were talking about said that patriarchy was real, that men would have the right to kidnap women. And I'm like, and take them to their home to be their wives. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about, because what they have in their heads is not a human consensual relationship. It is a kidnapping type of predatory relationship. That is what is in their head. And this one, from years back, had described to me what sounded like a parasitic, non-consensual relationship of reproduction, where he's the one having a baby, but the woman is carrying in his child. But no, but not her own child, of which he contributed to, but just his child. He is using her as a housing unit. I mean, it's just so sickening. It's just so sickening. And when you talk to them about how they're supposed to get sex, and then they describe a thing where you don't even own your body, he owns your body. Is it all lining up to you that they are saying the same things? They are, everything about them is pointing to the same exact thing. There is no confusion here, except that the ones they have sold into you. They are not confused about what is going on, and they are not confused about what we are. But they have made us confused, and we need to unconfuse really quickly. Because all these things are happening, they have real world consequences. When a species is parasitic so badly, the eventuality is extinction, period, point blank. I don't care how long it takes. It is quite simply extinction. There is no other option. That is where we are headed. We must unlearn quickly.
Mentality. So
that's it for now. Thank you.